Hey guys, how's it going? So I wanted to make a video for my game 4 predictions. I wrote some notes and I will read them. I'll start with the conclusion first. Sorry, I have kids in the background. The NBA wants a long series with Edwards and the Wolves moving on. That's the bottom line. You can see it in their marketing. You can see it in them being allowed to win the first two games by playing actual real basketball. I didn't see anything crazy in those first two games. It's just not like usual NBA basketball where they allow actual real basketball to be played. The NBA is soft and the players freaked out because they were shocked, right? Edwards equals the glory days of the 80s and 90s when people didn't think about the NBA being rigged. And he's unbelievably talented and can propel the NBA into the next phase after the main, big, highly marketed stars are starting to age. The fact that they are bringing in Scott Foster, the rig ref extraordinaire, says they will micromanage this game. And if they can help it, help Denver win game 4. Sorry. I was reading ahead. And they will allow the Wolves to win game 5. This is my prediction of how I see it going. Of course, as far as I know, the players aren't in on the rigging. I have doubts about that sometimes, but I do believe for the most part, the players are not in on it. And so they can transcend the rig. You see this in the beginning of dynasties when the teams are having it rigged against them. I saw the Warriors go through this in the beginning, and then all of a sudden, once the marketing and the big money was behind them, they started to get the rig and probably won an extra title or two because of referee interference, point shaving, and overall helping the Warriors win, especially the Houston Rockets series. I think that was 2016 or 17 was obvious. So the media is hyping the Wolves, building the Edwards brand, hedging their bets in case Minnesota gets deep into the playoffs. Excuse all misspellings and whatnot as well, please. The NBA allowed real basketball in the first two games. And like I said, this is extremely rare, but why would they do this? If it was genuinely done by reffing staff, could be to create a media buzz and further build the Edwards brand. Everybody knows they have a marketing issue and star issue in this league. Subsequently, in game 3, the refs stopped all true defense and created the usual grifting style of basketball where the refs micromanage game flow and momentum, filling in the stats by the end of the game to make it look like the game was fairly balanced. Most of Minnesota's players were in foul trouble on phantom calls early in the game, giving momentum to Denver. How could anyone not see this? Are people this blind and idiotically stupid? By the end of the game, it doesn't look so bad as by the time the Wolves, etc., are down in the game, the refs make up the free throws and foul imbalances on the whole. When I used to have a viral YouTube channel before it was deleted, I used to make halftime videos perfectly predicting what was going to happen and how the refs were going to call it in the second half, because you could tell just by reading the stats at half what calls they had to balance out the stat lines for. Imbalance in fouls and imbalance in free throws. You have to make that up once the favored team is winning in the game. How difficult is this to understand? It naturally follows that a long series is beneficial for the NBA. It allows the media to hype and sell more games for their highly contrived and rigged league. It also will build Edwards' brand, like I've been saying. Also, don't forget, Scott Foster is reffing in Game 4. He has strong ties to rig ref Tim Donaghy. Foster got off the hook by having the league bribe the prosecutor in the case. The FBI was investigating Foster as well as Tim Donaghy. After everything went away, he got a job, the prosecutor, making $1 million per year with the NBA. Reference Tim Donaghy's book for that. He also talks about it openly in interviews. You can find that on YouTube. The marks of a rig. I was the first one to articulate the marks of the rig. Brian Toohey is really good as well as a few others. And there's way more than just 5, but just the basics. Shift of momentum, born of free throws, and foul trouble. You'll see this in the game. All of a sudden, a team has momentum. Reference game 3, Denver versus Minnesota, right? Oh, who had the momentum there? Why? Oh, the best defensive player in the league had what, 3 quick fouls? Right? Double standards. One team gets to play football and the other team gets tagged for touchy grifting fouls. Emotional outbursts. Under the pressure of the rig, teams lose their cools. Reference Jamal Murray and Coach Malone in this series. Free throw imbalances that are made up by the end of the game. Once you get an eye for the marks of a rig, it jumps out to you. You can't miss it. Make up calls from a previous play as well. Sorry. These are all overt point shaving, rigging calls. You can't do that. The FBI should be investigating these scoundrels. Pathetic, taking advantage of a naive, ignorant, brainwashed, uneducated public. It's disgusting. Prediction: Denver is slated to win this game, bringing it back 2-2 to Denver, where Minnesota wins game. They're the following game. I'm screwing up what game it is. Game 4 tonight, and then game 5 back in Denver, whenever it is. That is it. We'll see what happens. Maybe they can transcend the rig.